Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm going for a little car ride with me here this morning. When I have my video topics, I just get in where I fit in. Sometimes it's a live chat if it helps me in the editing process, or sometimes it's just getting a message out while I'm driving on the road here, so you can act like we're taking this ride together, right? So you see the topic of this audio, which is investing in yourself. I really want to take a moment to shine a light on that notion, okay? Investing in yourself, because a lot of survivors really aren't used to actually investing into themselves. We think that we're investing into ourselves when we're investing into this relationship, right? But really what we're doing is investing into other people in hopes that they will then invest into us. Okay? And then we're typically investing into these other people first and foremost on top of that, if we even ever get around to investing anything into ourselves. But the typical survivor is more than likely coming from a place where they weren't investing in themselves too much, if at all. Okay, we were coming last on the list, if we even made it to the list, because think about it. When we're giving so much to others, oftentimes we'll be quite depleted when we're putting them first, and by the time we get to ourselves, we'll feel depleted. There's not going to be a lot of energy left over, a lot of resources, and we know the emotional vampires that a narcissist is. We know how draining that experience can be emotionally and psychologically, and even physically, because you could be physically jumping through hoops to try to get this person's approval and acceptance. Now we know that's a no-no. We know now that that's a no-no, but back when we were doing it, how exhausting. And then, that emotional and psychological abuse, that warfare in your mind, that starts to physically drain you. It has a physical effect on our energy. So, even if we wanted to then invest and put something into ourselves, after we're done dealing with them, what do we have left? We have to regroup at that point. We have to regenerate ourselves. We have to recoup here. And then, this speaks to giving other people the resources and energies that actually was meant for ourselves. We're giving it to other people. And these people aren't putting back into us and helping us to replenish ourselves. So that, inevitably leads to being depleted, exhausted. Exhausted. How many of you, after that final discard, just needed to fucking rest? Like, your energy was just on negative. Forget zero. It was just in the negatives, like exhausted. That's a very harsh energy to interact with. And your spirit, everything has to be revitalized after that. We have to put into. And this is why I want to make this video about investing in yourself, guys. And, in order to understand what investment truly is, you have to understand what the word investment means, right? So let's try to understand, what does it really mean to be investing in something? Investment, in layman terms, is planting a seed and watering that seed, okay? It's putting aside and being willing to have a delayed gratification. It's planning for the future, because we're living in the present right now. But guess what? The present used to be the future. And the people that are excelling right now in the present were the people who were planning for it in the past. They were planning for it way before it came. They were planting seeds and putting their ducks in a row. And now they're thriving. So how can a survivor relate to this? Because most of the time when we're talking about investments, we're talking about money. Okay, and some of us need to have money workshops and, revitalize that part of our lives as well, as we overgave to someone who, didn't have any type of profits or return back. And they certainly aren't there for you when you need them. But we have to be willing to not be short-sighted and have a little bit of a delayed gratification and healing from narcissistic abuse, if you will. Be willing to go through, the process, because it is a process. And I keep saying this, it's a process. Just like if I were to make an alteration to my body and the doctor says, okay, this is going to be your end result, but you're going to have to go through surgery. You're going to have to heal from surgery. You're going to have to make these lifestyle changes to accommodate it. But you're going to start seeing this result maybe 3 months out from surgery. And then in 6 months, a year, 2 years from now will be your sweet spot. Can you delay the gratification? Can you go through that surgery? Can you feel, the discomfort of recovering from being on that operating table? Can you keep that long-term vision? And then, one day you really get to that sweet spot and you realize the whole process that you went to get there. But you're so happy and glad that you made the investment, you delayed the gratification, you planned for your future, you stuck with the plan, you had your ducks in a row, you planted your seed, you did what you had to do. And now, voila, you have that stomach you wanted. Maybe you got the mommy makeover. And I'm just taking this is a little bit of a more of a shallow experience that I'm saying, but nonetheless, it's a process to get to an end result. It's sacrifices being made, seeds being planted, and a planning that goes along with it. But we have to be willing to invest. We have to love ourselves enough. We have to stop being short-sighted. When you're trying to break that trauma bond from the narcissist and you're coming to a channel like this and you're being educated and my flesh is going to be fighting against my spirit hella hard. It's going to make me feel like I want that old toxicity because that's more natural and normal to me than being healthy. But I already know this in my logic. So when I start feeling that, and that soul tie start burning me and making me want to feel like I need to gravitate back towards that toxic energy and roll in a hay with them yet again. I'm going to know better. I'm going to override it. I'm going to delay that short-term gratification because I know that is a sham, actually. That short-term gratification quickly turns into a nightmare because it's never what I think it is, and I'm not getting what I need. It's not helping me move forward in life. So are you guys willing to learn how to delay those gratifications? To plant a seed, to really invest in a really healthy future, to really break free from the bondage? Are you really willing to make those investments in yourself? And challenge your toxicity and challenge your old way of thinking, your old way of behaving. Because investments teach us, we plant a seed now, we're going to get it back tenfold. We're going to get it back 100-fold. We're going to get it back 1,000-fold. So if I'm used to eating fast food and I say, you know what, instead of eating this fast food, I'm going to start eating fruit salads. Every time I feel like wanting to eat fast food, I'm going to eat a fruit salad or a vegetable salad instead. Now I'm planting seeds in my health. Now, how much disparity have I saved myself down the line when it catches up to me as I get older, eating this way versus that way? How much have I saved myself in medical bills? How many more years have I added to my life You see what I'm saying about that delayed gratification? Oh, this burger tastes good on my tongue right now. As soon as you're done eating it, you just collected some more cholesterol. You've added additional calories. You may have even found that you weren't even hungry. You were just in your flesh and wanting to eat it because it tastes good in the moment. Then when you retrain your taste buds, you're like, oh, this is greasy. And I'm not saying that there aren't healthy ways to have a burger. And sidebar, I recommend the Beyond Burger, vegan burger, which tastes just like that Angus beef without eating the red meat and all the things that come with it. But this isn't a video to attack anyone that eats red meat, because that's not what I'm doing. All I'm saying is we plan for the future now. We start planting those seeds now to become healthy, to become non-codependent, to break the trauma bonds and the soul ties, to break away from that toxic energy, to renew ourselves, to reprogram our thoughts and behaviors, so that we can really have that real fresh start. We can really have that change. And we will reap the rewards of making those positive investments of ourselves. We stick with it. We're creating new patterns. And then we've made all these deposits. You're going to have a harvest eventually. You're going to have a harvest. Just keep making the deposits and letting it build up. Okay, I worked on this aspect of myself. Wow, now I started working on this aspect of myself. Overcame that. Now I'm working on this aspect. You don't got to do everything in one day. You don't have to overload yourself. It's making those gradual changes, and piece by piece, bit by bit, you can see your progression. You can see your growth. Because we were talking about this yesterday in a live chat where people say, yeah, I got to heal. But you got to grow from it too. Because guess what? I can jump off of something I shouldn't and keep scraping my knee and healing from it. But if I keep jumping off of it, I'm going to have to keep healing from it. The same thing goes with not truly doing the work to heal from what landed you in that toxic relationship, what depleted you, not having the adequate self-esteem, not building up your self-worth, etc. If I don't truly do those things, I can heal from that relationship and end up in another relationship that's going to be lopsided. Another relationship where I'm being disrespected and not honored and valued. Until I grow from it. You got to heal and grow. Because it's the growth that actually creates the change in the behavior. Not just healing. Because our cells were made to regenerate and heal from it. Time does help us get over certain things, but then you got to get over again because you didn't grow from it. Because you put yourself back in that situation again, guys. And that's why we have to be willing to make the investments. Enough really has to become enough. When you really reach that fed up point, it's going to be like, whatever I have to do, I'm doing it. Because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of getting less than. I value my time on this earth, and I realize how precious it is. I want to get every moment I can out of it. I'm tired of walking around like a zombie. I'm tired of other people being in control of my happiness and peace. I'm tired of not getting it. Whatever I need to see, whatever I need to realize, Lord, help me see it. Help me realize it. I want to move on. I want to graduate. I'm tired of existing this way, merely existing. I want to step into my strength. I want better. I want better, and I'm going to have better. You have to get to that place, guys. I recommend therapy and coaching for all survivors. You just got to get it from the right source. Now, I do offer this on my platform. Half an hour sessions, voice calls, FaceTime, Skypes, email coaching. I have a Patreon monthly membership. I've written 4 therapeutic books. Like, there's so many ways that you can go beyond YouTube videos. And I want to challenge each and every one of you to go beyond the YouTube videos, because you need to go further beneath the surface, guys. You have to go further beneath. Be willing to make those investments, guys. Really get fed up and enough be enough so that you can progress. I want to see that true freedom, that true breakthrough. And then you can pass the torch back on some level. Even if it's just sharing it with your daughter and then she's not perpetuating and repeating that cycle in her life. Or you might start a YouTube channel yourself when you get strong. There was a time when I was the one listening to other people's YouTube videos, but I found my healing and I grew from it so far that I wanted to give this back. I'm like, wow, this is night and day. I wish I could talk to my old self, but I do it every day when I talk to other people who are back where I used to be, because I know firsthand. And then I've talked to thousands of survivors. Each one does teach one. I got to give this information back. I have to try to open eyes. I have to try to share these perspectives because it's really our mind frames. It's our mentalities that's keeping us stuck. So if I can get you to sincerely feel it, to sincerely believe that, to sincerely want to try that, now we have something to work with, guys. But you have to start investing in yourself and invest in yourself first. That's how you're going to be good for other people. If I come from an impoverished area and I want to be like, you know what, one day I want to give back to this area, or one day I want to help this section or these people, I need to help myself first. I need to get on my feet first, well on my feet, to not only be able to sustain myself, but be able to start a nonprofit or organizations or whatever I want to do to give back on that platform. But that's going to require me to get myself together first. You'll be no good to anybody just running yourself to the ground, giving to everybody else, not putting into yourself. That's very short term. And we do that out of our ignorance. You'll be falling out and exhausted left and right. As soon as you get a weekend of rest, you burnt yourself to the ground again the following week. Now you need to take a whole nother week off. And it's counterproductive. There's a better way. There's a better way. But it's understanding that we deserve to be invested in by ourselves, and we deserve for other people to invest in us as well. Being okay with being a receiver and a giver, but being a receiver, balancing that out. And I've talked about this. Because if all you want to do and give in life, that's all you're going to get is takers. And you will constantly be the sacrificial lamb, guys. So I really hope that this message is helping someone. Invest in yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. You have to. You should be paying yourself first. You should be putting your health first. You should be putting your peace of mind and your mental health, okay? Not just your physical body. And some of us have neglected our physical body and know that we need to be making changes. Plant the seeds now, reap the harvest. You'll start reaping those harvests slowly but surely, but it will get greater and greater with time. There are people in their 40s now who started making great investments in their health, and they said they feel better than they did in their 20s. Okay? See what I'm saying? That's the type of investment they were making, and what they got back out of that investment. But you got to know a good investment versus a poor one. And it was a poor one to invest in a toxic person that never reciprocated, didn't want to reciprocate, never valued you. Those are poor investments. We got to start making wise investments and start planning for our future by doing things right now in the present. You're not always going to be crying over that narcissist. You will get cried out eventually if you follow the proper steps. Seek assistance. Get help and guidance if you need it. Be willing. You gave so much to the narcissist and all these other people. Give it to yourself. Some of you would be willing to pay for therapy for the narcissist before yourself. Something is wrong with that picture, guys. Start loving yourself enough. More than enough. Treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you already. I buy myself flowers. I've taken myself out to 5-star restaurants. Whatever I want to do, I do. Nothing is too good for me. I deserve it. I love myself. When you treat yourself that good, you're not going to allow other people to treat you less than. Okay? So let's do better, survivors, all right? I hope this pep talk is helping someone again. Never give up on yourself as usual. Keep doing the work, guys. And until next time, please take care.